Hello students, in this tutorial audio presentation I will discuss the value based question, broad questions rather, value based broad questions from discovering Tut. The first question goes like this. In 1922, Tut's tomb was discovered. Much of the treasure buried in the tomb had already been plundered. Actually, plundered means looted. The materialistic attitude of a man does not allow even the dead to sleep in peace. Will there be any end to this attitude? Discuss. Now, the greed of man doesn't allow even a dead person to rest in peace if he is possessed with precious ornaments and jewelries. Very analytical question. It needs some serious answering. So, let me continue the answer. For a handful of gold, man can go to any extent. Yes, greed is also one of the seven deadly sin. In the Holy Bible, it has been told that greed is also one of the seven deadly sin. And for a few gold, or a handful means for a few gold, man can go to any extent. A man can kill another man also for a few handful of gold. Tut's mummy was buried deep in the desert with a lot of gold and other things, believing that the dead pharaoh would need those things in the afterlife. The Egyptians, they strongly believed in afterlife. And according to them, the pharaoh, when he will reawaken once again in his afterlife, apart from gold ornaments and jewelries, he needed the daily essential things of daily use. So, bronze razor, cases of food and wine, uh, all these things were given so that the pharaoh might feel comfortable in his afterlife, that is, life beyond the mortal human existence. It was a matter of faith. When Tut's tomb was discovered, much of the treasure had already been looted. This is the actual fact. Much of the treasure was already been looted. By the time Tut's mummy was discovered in the year 1922 by the famous British archaeologist by the name of Howard Carter. By that time, almost half of the gold jewelries were already been looted. The thieves did it being driven by the mad force of materialism. The thieves, the tomb raiders, I guess you remembered, in some of my audio presentations, I had discussed about tomb raiders. I used the term tomb raiders. They were so much jealous, mad at possessing the gold jewelries that they had looted, because they had looted those jewelries because they were ultimately driven by the mad force of materialism. Materialistic attitude attaches no importance to beliefs, religious sentiments, and social rites and rituals. Greed, power to gain jewelries. So, when this greed takes full control or full possession of the mind, religious sentiments, social rituals, and beliefs, all these things practically goes out of the mind, to be very honest. And that happened with many people because this greed to loot the ornaments was immense in man. But when Carter finally succeeded in discovering Tut's tomb, he found the richest royal collection. But thank God, when Carter discovered it, he found it to consist of richest royal collection. And all these richest royal collection were made of solid gold. And they were in the tomb. Though he realized that this place was ransacked previously by the tomb raiders, and they had mostly collected the other precious jewelries also. But thank God, few are left, and that Carter deposited in the to the Egyptian museum. So let's continue. Even the coffin was made of gold. In order to remove Tut from his coffin, Carter had to cut the body from its joints. I already told you about the chiseling part, chiseling or severing the body joints in order to remove the body from the solid gold coffin. And because of that chemical substance, ritual resins, it had hardened the body with the solid gold coffin. So I repeat, few lines I'm repeating. Even the coffin was made of gold. In order to remove Tut from his coffin, Carter had to cut the body from its joints. So man doesn't allow even the dead to sleep in peace. So ultimately, though Carter's intention was not bad because he was not a tomb raider, he was actually an archaeologist. But ultimately, we can say the way chiseling was done, the way scanning was done, later also anatomy professor did a sort of anatomical examination also. So ultimately, if we sum up the entire thing, we can come to the conclusion that man doesn't allow even the dead person to sleep in peace. So that was the answer of that question. I am moving on to question number 2 now. The lesson discovering Tut allows us a peep into the past or history. Peep means to look, to get a glimpse. Glimpse, glimpse, that is peeping into the past or history. For many, history is a dry subject, but its study does make us wiser. Do you think? Now, history can be considered as a very boring subject, but for others, it actually make us wise. But to some others, it actually is a very interesting subject because ultimately it makes us wise. Do you agree with this? Again, an analytical question. So it has to be analyzed in a very critical way, in a very analytical manner. So let us come to the answer. Real history is the objective portrayal. Portrayal means ultimately depiction, we can say. That is the nearest synonym of portrayal. It is something related with depiction. So real history is the objective portrayal of events and facts that depicts development and destruction. That depicts means that actually portrays development as well as destruction, because development stories are also there, destructive stories are also there, all written in the pages of history. True history is never colored in the hues of politics. It reflects the myriad facets of society. It actually shows the real society. It reflects the myriad facets. Facets means the aspects. Myriad means the various aspects, the manifold various aspects of society. Modern technology has made its portrayal objective. With the help of modern technology, its depiction has become much more objective. History puts forward lessons for us and provides us with chances to improve. Actually, it gives us a lot of instances of cruelty and destruction that happened way back in the past, and it actually gives us a sort of a reminder that yes, we have to develop, and in terms of us to develop, we have to improve ourselves. If we have to respect ourselves, then we have to shun the barbaric activities innate within us. That is what I am trying to say. History puts forward lessons for us and provides us with chances to improve. So it is true that those who do not pick up these lessons are condemned to repent. Repent means ultimately they face a lot of problems. So actually, history repeats itself. We know it. Now, history is a reminder. It gives us a kind of a precaution. It gives us. It actually awares us. It cautions us that if we don't change our mentality, then definitely, just like the other characters in history, those real characters who repented, who are condemned, we also have to condemn ourselves. We also have to repent. Shrewd people have used history to rouse mass hysteria, to grind their own axe. Now, shrewd people, cunning people, they had used history to arouse mass hysteria. Hysteria, you can say, something related with craziness. Obviously, in order to attain their own selfish means, or in order to attain their own selfish needs. Distortion of history causes havoc in society. Now, distortion means if the history or the subject matter or the main fact is distorted, then obviously it creates a lot of chaos, anarchy, or chaos that we can sum up by saying havoc in the society. To the intelligent people, history is a window through which they peep into the past to collect facts and interpret them in an objective manner. Those who are rational people, intelligent people, they can understand the true value of history, and they can realize it very well that it is actually a peep into the past in order to collect facts and finally to interpret those facts in a very objective manner. I'm moving on to the last paragraph now related with this answer. By and large, history is the study of past events. When we talk about history, it is something related with the study of past events. Ancient history, modern history, all these things are related with the study of past events. Political, economic, and social development of a country. And many a time we feel belittled knowing that our forefathers were better than us in many respects. Now, with the help of history, we can possibly know more about political, economic, and social development of a country. And many a time a realization can come to our mind related with our ancestor, forefathers who were much better than us in many respects. We can learn a lesson from them, and we can restrain ourselves, we can control ourselves, we can refrain ourselves from making the same mistakes. And the important thing is that it gives us, it is like an eye opener. It is like an eye opener, an example before our eyes that if we do the same mistakes, then we will be condemned to repent for our activities or for our actions. And obviously history gives us an indication that look at your ancestors, look what they did. Ultimately they had faced the similar consequences. You might face also the similar consequences if you do the same mistakes, or rather to say the same error. So that was it, dear students. I tried to explain the two value based questions also, as well as the broad questions and short questions from this chapter Discovering Tut. Access all the tutorial audios. Listen to this tutorial audio also very carefully. And if there is any doubt, any problem whatsoever, please let me know. Thank you, students. Thank you all.